Hello, hello. My name is Sabrina Rising. I'm a spiritual mentor and a psychic medium, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk all about how to meet our spirit guides and how this can be such a beneficial practice anywhere you are on your healing journey. If you're just getting started or if you're well seasoned on your healing journey, and you just want a little extra support and you're sort of curious and understanding what is the meaning of spirit guides, who are my spirit guides, do I even have them, and how can we use our spirit guides to help us manifest, to help us gain clarity on our life purpose, on our healing journey. How can we lean into them to ask questions about major life decisions or perhaps something to do with your life purpose or the choices you're making on a daily basis? Okay, so being able to tune into the presence of our spirit guides can be very beneficial. It can be very supportive. And ultimately, it connects us to this experience that we're not alone. Okay. And this can be true for so many of us when we're on a healing journey. I know this was true for me when I was first getting started. I felt like I was on my own, that it was just, me and God or the God of my understanding, but there was really nothing else connecting me to my experience, nothing else that I could lean into that was familiar or that was uniquely mine. Okay, so I believe firmly as a spiritual guide and teacher, and I've taught this over and over again in many client sessions and programs, we all have a spirit team. And that means you too. And so today we're going to meet our spirit guides. We're going to start to tune into what it feels like to have a spirit guide. And we're also going to practice receiving a message from our spirit guide. So stay tuned and watch till the end. Okay. So the first question I want to ask you is, have you ever felt like there is a loving presence around you? Maybe you felt like someone was watching you, or you felt like there was just another presence beside you, even physically close to you. Or perhaps some synchronistic event just felt like it felt like too much of a coincidence for it to be just a coincidence. Okay, so these are all signs that you are being guided and supported by universal intelligence, and your spirit guides live in the realm of universal intelligence, and that means they're all around you. Okay, one of my humble beliefs as a psychic medium is that there is no other side. Everything is all around us all the time. And it's just a matter of developing our sensitivity so that we can tune in to the presence of our guides, our ancestors, our loved ones, our animal friends, our animal totems, and perhaps angelic beings or astral beings as well. Okay, so these are all examples of spirit guides. So for me, I know that when I first started channeling and doing mediumship connections, that was when I first recognized the presence of my father, who had, since crossed over. I lost him when I was a little girl, and I actually felt his presence, and I started to recognize him as a guide. Okay, so it wasn't until I started developing my own personal mediumship that I realized that, I could lean into him as a guide, that he was there for me, that he was there to sort of help me make certain choices and to support me in developing this work. I have since then met other spirit guides along the way and have connected with other elements in nature and so on that have supported me in my spiritual journey. And this is, if it's true for me, it's true for you. We all have ancestors. We all have loved ones. We've all had pets or animals in our lives, or perhaps we feel a special connection to nature. Perhaps you feel a special connection to certain elements. And these are all examples of things that are here to guide you on your path. Okay. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand who your spirit guides are, why they're here, and how you can begin connecting with them today. Okay. So again, we talked about the different types of spirit guides. We talked about ancestral guides. These are past loved ones and ancestors. We have light beings. These can be angels or ascended masters. Start to notice if you feel a certain resonance towards something, especially as I'm mentioning it. Maybe you might notice that if you walk into, crystal shop, you have a certain attraction to a particular artifact or to a particular thing, or perhaps it's to a particular symbol or culture or tradition. That's not an accident. So what you naturally feel drawn to, you have a resonance for, can be meaningful to you. Okay. And the big part of developing our spiritual practice is developing our awareness, expanding our awareness, so we can start to pay attention to the things that we feel drawn to our recurring thoughts, to our feelings, to our emotions, and to signs that are happening around us at all times. Okay. And as we cultivate this awareness, we expand this awareness, we're able to tune into these signs, and we're able to use them to guide us in our human experience, which is ultimately what we're all looking for, is guidance, clear guidance, helpful guidance, and supportive guidance, so that we can make the most of this human life. Okay. Your higher self is also considered a spirit guide. So that's you. It's the highest expression of you that's really wanting your fullest expression. It's wanting you to fulfill your potential during this human experience. Okay, so you can meditate to your higher self. You can meditate to receive a message from your higher self. You can meditate to receive messages from other guides and other light beings. Today, we're going to do a practice together, which leaves it open to inviting in a message from any guide, any type of guide, including your higher self, that's going to serve your highest and best good. Okay. So why is this practice so powerful? First of all, it's powerful because it helps us enhance our intuition and our spiritual growth. Right. So as we develop the sensitivity to be able to feel the presence of a spirit guide, to be able to listen to the message of the spirit guide, and to feel the feelings or the nudging of this spirit guide and whatever inquiry we might be presenting to them, it develops our intuition, right? And we start to become more sensitive. We start to see, we start to feel, and we start to know more about what's right for us as we develop our practice. Okay, so it enhances our intuition, which is huge. We can all use more intuition. So many of us, and this includes all the clients that I serve in readings and in programs, we all want to know, like, what should I do? What should I do? What's going to happen? What's best for me? How do I maximize my potential? What's the next right move for me? And this can leave us very stuck in self-doubt and very paralyzed when we don't feel like we have clarity. We don't feel like we know what the next right move is. Okay, so being even just having a practice where you lean into your spirit guides and being able to ask them, help me make this decision, or show me what will serve my highest and best good, is going to be hugely beneficial for you. Okay. And spirit guides also offer a lot of healing and emotional support as well. Okay. So perhaps you're going through a difficult time and you need your parents, or you want your loved one or your good friend, and so on. Or perhaps you have a certain resonance towards an ascended master. Perhaps you want to lean into their teachings or their support or their guidance for the purpose of healing and emotional support, which is wonderful. Again, healing happens when we feel like we're being supported, right? And so, especially if you don't have a lot of humans in your life that you can lean into and ask for support, it's helpful to create this context of tuning into your spirit guides so that you feel supported. Ultimately, you feel like you're not alone on this journey. Okay. And again, they're here to guide us on our life purpose, right? Why we're here, what we're here to accomplish. What is the meaning of all this? What is the purpose of being here? So being able to lean into our spirit guides really helps illuminate the answers to some of these deeper, more profound questions that really lie at the core of most of the things that we struggle with on a day-to-day basis. Okay. The other aspect of leaning into your spirit guides is also about developing your psychic abilities, right? So you're developing all of your clairs as you cultivate this practice. You're developing your clairvoyance, which is your capacity to see. You're developing your clairaudience, which is the capacity to hear, and your claircognizance, which is really the capacity to know. And of course, there's many other clairs, but those are the three main ones that we really want to focus on developing as we become more sensitive. So developing our intuition is akin to heightening our sensitivity, which happens through our intention to pay more attention to what's happening within and without. So within our internal landscape, what are my thoughts? What are my feelings? What are my reactions to certain things? And within our external environment, what am I seeing? What are some patterns that are reoccurring? Maybe you're seeing numbers over and over again, or maybe you're seeing certain signs, or maybe you're having visions, or perhaps you're seeing certain animals, reoccurring. All of these are guideposts with messages that if you really pay attention and you start to record them, which is a practice I recommend, is just keeping a journal so you can really start recording the messages that you're receiving from your spirit guides. You'll see that there's a pattern to these messages that you can learn to decode over time that will start to make sense for you in terms of what the spirit realm is trying to tell you, what your higher self is trying to tell you, so that you can have the answers you need to move forward in your life. Okay, so let's talk about how to meet our spirit guides. Now, we know what spirit guides are. We know the benefit of meeting our spirit guides. I mean, we all want to know, we all want to feel like we have a team around us, and I want this for you as much as you do. So let's meet our spirit guides in this practice. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that we just set an intention together. Okay, you can do this in a variety of ways. Your intention should be, I'm open to receiving clear guidance from my spirit guides. Okay, so whatever, think about your intention. If you want to make modifications is something that resonates more for you. But for today's practice, we'll just focus on, I want to receive a clear message from my spirit guides. Okay, and you can do this by creating a receptive state. So there's different ways you can create a receptive state. You can go into a meditation practice. We're going to do a meditation together here in a few moments. You can also do some automatic writing. You can set the intention in a journal and just say, I'm willing to meet my spirit guides, and take some deep diaphragmatic breaths to go inwards and get quiet and still and see how the automatic writing works, what messages are coming through in this automatic writing practice. That's one way to receive a message from your spirit guides. Okay. You can also do dream work. So you can set that intention, write it in your journal just before you go to sleep, and perhaps you'll meet a spirit guide in your dreams. Okay. And so this is another way to meet your guides and receive a message from them as well. Okay. Also, being open to signs and synchronicities. When you set an intention for something, don't underestimate how powerful that is. Okay, we set an intention for meeting our spirit guides, and then we go about our day, and all of a sudden there are synchronicities or signs or things that occur throughout that day that are really in service to what we set the intention for. Right? It's just a matter of, again, paying attention to those signs and being able to notice the patterns that show up and notice the signs that show up and say, okay, this is a direct response to the intention I set to meeting my spirit guides and or to receiving a message from them. Okay, so for today, we're going to engage in a guided connection together. Okay, so make sure you're sitting comfortably, and you can just listen and just allow yourself to be guided. Don't worry about taking notes. Just really feel into the practice with me. We're going to create a visualization exercise. It's very simple. Anybody can do this, and I recommend that you watch this, over and over again until you can develop your own practice and you can sort of be on your own. Okay, so for today, we're really going to just very simply set an intention to meet our spirit guides. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes as well. We're going to take some deep belly breaths together. Okay, so breathing into the diaphragm, breathe in, belly out, exhale, just let the belly drop naturally. Notice as you breathe in and out of your diaphragm that you feel a little calmer, a little more settled, and more grounded and more relaxed in your body. Okay. So I invite you to just stay with your eyes closed and keep grounding with the diaphragmatic breathing, breathing in and out of the belly. Good. And I want you to perhaps sit with your palms up if that feels accessible to you. I like to sit with my palms up when I'm receiving. Okay. Just stay connected and grounded here to the sensation of the breath. Notice if you start to have some distracting thoughts or your mind starts to look for things, you start to try and think about what you're experiencing, try to make logical sense of it. Okay. So again, tuning in to our higher self, to our spirit guides, and just allowing ourselves to receive requires stepping out of mental focus. So allow yourself to drop out of focus, not using your mind, focusing on the sensation of the breath as it fills your belly, going into the body, staying fully present in the moment, allowing yourself to be guided by the sound of my voice. Good. You start to visualize yourself entering into a very serene, peaceful setting. Imagine this serene and peaceful setting can be whatever resonates most for you, whatever feels most peaceful to you. Perhaps it's a garden or a beach or a forest somewhere in nature. Or perhaps you're in your room or sitting on your meditation cushion, whatever feels most accessible to you. And as you sit in this peaceful, serene environment, visualize this empty space around you. And repeat your intention quietly to yourself. I invite one or more of my spirit guides to join me here today. I am willing to receive a message from one or more of my spirit guides. And as you set these intentions, just relax your body and allow for whatever images, sounds, feelings come through for you. Again, don't second guess it, just allow for it. Perhaps you feel the presence of a loved one that has crossed over. Perhaps you feel the presence of an animal. Perhaps you're hearing a sound. Just let this presence come closer. You can invite them to come closer as well. Just suggest gently, you can come sit next to me. Come be with me. Or move a little closer so I can hear you. We are developing an intimate dialogue with our higher selves, with universal intelligence, and our unique spirit team that's always here supporting us. They're always communicating with us in very subtle ways. And in today's practice, we're setting the intention to really know who they are and hear what they have to say. Notice if you have any fear coming up. Just remember to breathe into your diaphragm and ground yourself. You are safe. You are safe to meet your guides. You're safe to hear what they have to say, to receive their love, their healing energy, and their support. When you feel the presence of your guide, again, don't have any expectations. Just let that go. Allow the messages to come through. I always say the first response is always the correct one. So just allow the experience to come through as it is. Perhaps repeat one more time. I'm willing to receive a message from you that serves my highest and best good. Good. And you can stay in this practice for as long as it feels beneficial to you. once you feel like you've received the clarity, the guidance, whatever symbols or messages or visions you received in this practice, once that feels complete for you, I invite you now to simply open your eyes and come back to the present moment, thanking your guides, thanking them for their message, thanking them for loving you, for supporting you, and for making themselves known today. Okay. Good. So you might want to take a minute to pause this video and to go get your journal and to write down whatever it is that you experienced, who you met, what you saw, what you heard. I would love to know in the comments section what your experience was of this meditation, of this very, very basic practice that I invite you to take on every day until you feel like you're really grounded and you can lean into your spirit guides on a regular basis for guidance, for support, for healing, and for the messages that you need to help you make decisions in your everyday life. Okay. So I'd love to hear about your practice. So some common blocks to this practice and how to overcome them. Okay. So first of all, doubt and overthinking is always the biggest block to developing our intuition, to developing our psychic abilities, to connecting with our spirit guides, connecting with our loved ones. We start to get into our heads and we start to think that, no, this can't be true, or I'm imagining it, or this is just something that I want to see or want to hear. It isn't really something that I'm experiencing. Okay. So this is normal. Everybody goes through this. Okay. So I want you to just start by not doubting what you receive. Just trust it. Trust whatever the first response is always the correct one. So if you have a feeling, that's correct. If you hear a sound, that's significant. If you hear a message or a few words, that's significant. Okay. The more you practice this, the more things become understandable and relatable and applicable to your life. Okay. So don't have no expectations going in. Don't put pressure on yourself and just let go of any judgments or any doubt that you might have about your ability to tune into your spirit guides. Just remember to be gentle with yourself and that this takes practice. Okay. The other block that usually gets in the way for people is fear-based programming. So, sometimes we might be afraid to connect with entities or spirit realm, messages and so on, or connecting with our loved ones that have crossed over. We don't want to necessarily open ourselves up to psychic attack and so on. This, I want to make sure that we stay grounded in the reality that we are safe and loved. Okay. Usually I don't recommend that we do any psychic work or connect in any particular way when we're dealing with some deep, dark issues in our lives. Okay. So if you are mentally and physically unhealthy, if you're engaging in self-destructive behavior, if you have a history of mental health issues, for example, if you have a lot of anxiety that you really struggle with, then I would not recommend these practices. I would simply recommend the diaphragmatic breathing, which helps regulate the nervous system and helps ground you and keep you safe in the present moment and helps bring you into the present moment and cultivate a sense of peace. Okay. Again, what we experience can sometimes be a projection of what we are processing internally. So it's very important to come to these practices grounded and stable and healthy, of sound mind and body, so that we can connect beyond the 3D veil and do so feeling safe and loved and supported, because ultimately that's the truth for every single one of us. We're all safe and loved and supported. Okay. The other thing that could come in the way as well is expecting loud, audible responses, expecting for your spirit guides to talk back to you, or expecting, to have full-blown conversations. This is entirely possible. Okay. So I don't want to dismiss that experience if that's what you're having. Wonderful. But don't have any expectations. Just notice that this is a very subtle thing, subtle sensitivity that we're developing and allowing ourselves to connect to. Is very important that we start with just a quiet observation of what we're experiencing and allow that to develop as we continue to practice. Okay. And the other thing that might also step in the way, which I find very interesting, and this is really the core work that we need to do, is feeling unworthy. Okay. Everybody has spirit guides. Everybody has entities, guides, connections in the spirit realm that love you, that support you, that want to, support you on your journey, on your healing journey, and that want to give you messages. Okay, so we all have them, and even if this is a completely new thing for you, I really encourage you to keep an open mind and to be willing to meet who your spirit guides are. Okay, that's going to help you in this practice. Okay, good. So the next steps in strengthening your connection is to just commit to a daily practice. Okay, so commit to 5 to 10 minutes a day of just simple diaphragmatic breathing, closing your eyes. You can listen to the guided meditation portion of this video if it's helpful, and just visualize yourself, sitting somewhere calm or serene, somewhere that really would invite in an experience like this. And again, you can call out to your spirit guides to come and join you where you are. It can be one or more, and ask for a message or ask for whatever is on your heart. Okay, so if you need guidance on a particular situation that you might be struggling with, don't be afraid to develop this conversation with your spirit guides. This is your dialogue. Okay, it's your relationship that you're building, and this relationship is going to support you if you allow it to. Okay, so again, daily practice until you feel really confident in your connections is very beneficial. Keeping a journal is also beneficial as well. So start recording. As I mentioned at the beginning, you want to pay attention. So start recording the signs and the synchronicities that you're experiencing on a daily basis, so you can start paying attention to the messages that you're getting. Automatic writing, as I mentioned as well in the video, is also very powerful. Automatic writing is a practice where you sit down intentionally and you just, again, get still and quiet and let go and go inward. Take a piece of paper and pen and just allow yourself to write whatever comes through without thinking too much, without using your logical brain. Okay, the realm of intuition and psychic development and connecting with spirit guides and channeling and mediumship has nothing to do with your logical brain. Okay, so we want to be able to drop out of focus and just drop into our bodies and listen to our hearts and allow ourselves to become sensitive to the energy that we're feeling. Okay, and anybody can do this. It's just a matter of starting out without judgments, noticing all of the judgments that you might have. The voice of the reasoning mind is trying to talk you out of this experience. Just observing it, letting it do whatever it wants to do, letting it say whatever it wants to say, and just meeting it with compassion and just bringing yourself back to your practice always. Okay. And the other thing that I would recommend as well is, doing some inner work to really just allowing yourself to experience any feelings, any fears that you might have around these types of practices. Okay, so just trusting that you are loved, that you are supported, and that it's possible for you to receive messages. Okay, and don't forget to join us every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. I do my live Oracle Hour where I connect to your guides on your behalf. You can ask me any question that you want. You can ask me for support in your practice in terms of connecting to your own guides. But during the Oracle Hour, I will give you live examples of how your guides are around you and what messages they have for you based on whatever it is that you might be struggling with or whatever it is that you have a question about. Okay, so it's always my honor to serve you during Oracle Hour. I hope this video was helpful. I would love to hear about it in the comments. Let me know if this is working for you, and if you have any questions or any feedback that you'd like to offer. I always love to read about it. Okay, I will see you on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific for Oracle Hour. In the meantime, all my love.